The co-ed killer, the gentle giant, Big Ed. These are just a few of the nicknames given to one Edmund Kemper, one of the most notorious serial killers in American history. Kemper murdered 10 people between 1964 and 1973, including his own mother. In today's case file, let's take a look into the life of Ed Kemper, the co-ed killer. Born on December 18, 1948, in Burbank, California, he was the middle child of Edmund Emil Kemper Jr. and Cornell Stage. He also had two sisters, a younger sister, Ellen Lee Kemper, and an elder sister, Susan Huey Kemper. Ed's parents had a troubled marriage, and his mother was often verbally and physically abusive towards him. Kemper was also a large child, and he was often teased and bullied by other children because of it. His parents divorced when he was still young. He then moved to Montana with his mother, Cornell, who would often take out her anger on Kemper. He would run away to reunite with his father, but he had remarried around Christmas of 1963 and sent Edmund to stay with his grandparents in North Fork, California. It was there that in August of 1964, at the age of 15, he would murder his grandparents. His grandmother reminded him of his mother, which he didn't appreciate at all. Pretending to go out one day, he would shoot his grandmother first, and then later killed his grandfather, stating that he didn't want him to suffer anymore. This incident wasn't something out of the blue, as Ed had been having dark fantasies and thoughts regarding life and death prior to his killing his grandparents. On a few occasions, he would kill two of his family cats. Following the murders, Ed Kemper turned himself to the authorities and was later diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia by court psychiatrists and sentenced to a state hospital as a criminally insane juvenile. He actually preferred living in the hospital, as the doctors would soon discover that he had a genius-level IQ. They hoped he would heal in time, as they believed he could have a bright future ahead of him. He was released from the hospital on December 16, 1969. He was 21 at the time. Against the recommendations of psychiatrists at the hospital, he was released into the care of his mother. After his release, he wanted to become a police officer, but was rejected due to his height. Though he still was friends with a couple of officers and would often hang out with them at a bar called the Jury Room. He would later also find a job for the California Highway Department, and for a while it seemed things were finally changing for him, as he had his own apartment and a life away from his mother. Unfortunately, it was short-lived, as due to some financial issues, he once again had to go live with his mother. They would often get into toxic situations and arguments with one another. Because of these arguments with his mother, he would often leave the home and just drive for hours. He started picking up hitchhikers, usually college students, mostly girls. He would later fantasize about killing these girls, so he decided to practice. He began storing plastic bags, knives, blankets, and handcuffs in his car. He would then pick up young women and peacefully let them go. According to Kemper, he picked up around 150 hitchhikers who were in line with this pattern. On May 7, 1972, Kemper was driving around Berkeley when he picked up two 18-year-old hitchhiking students, Marianne Pesce and Anita Lucchesa, with a pretense of taking them to Stanford University. After driving for an hour, he managed to reach a secluded wooded area with which he was familiar from his work at the highway department, without alerting his passengers that he had changed directions from where they wanted to go. It was there that he handcuffed Pesce and locked Lucchesa in the trunk, then stabbed and strangled Pesce to death, subsequently killing Lucchesa in a similar manner. He would later put their bodies into the trunk of his car and drive back home. He later photographed them and then would violate their dead corpses before dumping them near Loma Prieta mountain. On September 14th of the same year, he would pick up 15-year-old Iko Ku, who wanted to get a ride to her dance classes. Ed would decide to give her a ride and then later killed her in almost the same manner. Almost a year later, on January 7th, 1973, he would drive around Cabrillo College campus and pick up 18-year-old Cindy Shaw. He drove her to a wooded area and fatally shot her with a .22 caliber pistol. He then placed her body in the trunk of his car and drove to his mother's house, where he kept her body hidden in a closet in his room overnight. When his mother left for work the next morning, he would later violate her corpse and remove the bullet from Shirl's body, then dismembered and decapitated her in his mother's bathtub. He later buried her head in his mother's garden, facing upwards towards her room. After his arrest, he stated that he did this because his mother always wanted people to look up to her. On February 5th, 1973, he would get into a heated argument with his mother, and in his anger, he would go out and kill two innocent girls, 23-year-old Rosalind Heather Thorpe and 20-year-old Allison Liu, on the UCSC campus. According to Kemper, Thorpe entered his car first, reassuring Liu to also enter. He first fatally shot Thorpe and then Liu with his pistol and wrapped their bodies in blankets. Like the rest of his victims, he would once again violate their corpses and behead them. On April 20th, 1973, after coming back home drunk, Cornell went to her room and hopped onto bed. Sometime later, Ed snuck into her room with a claw hammer and a penknife. After killing his own mother, he would later behead her and proceed to humiliate her in unimaginable ways. Once he was done with it, he would place her head on top of his shelf and would yell at her for quite some time and then later play darts with it. He would then call his mother's best friend, 59-year-old Sally Hallett, and invite her to dinner. He would then strangle her to death to create a cover-up story that his mother and Hallett had gone away together on vacation. After killing his mother and her best friend, he would then call the police and turn himself in. He was later indicted on 8 counts of first-degree murder on May 7, 1973. Due to Kemper's explicit and detailed confession, his counsel's only option was to plead not guilty by reason of insanity to the charges. Kemper twice tried to commit suicide in custody. His trial went ahead on October 23, 1973. 3 court-appointed psychiatrists found Kemper to be legally sane and later was found guilty on all counts. He asked for the death penalty, requesting death by torture. However, he instead received 7 years to life for each count, with these terms to be served concurrently, and was sentenced to the California Medical Facility in Vacaville. In the California Medical Facility, Kemper was incarcerated in the same prison block as other notorious criminals such as Herbert Millen and Charles Manson. Kemper showed particular disdain for Millen, who committed his murders at the same time and in the same area as Kemper. He described Millen as just a cold-blooded killer, killing everybody he saw for no good reason. As of now, Ed is 74 years old and is considered as a model prisoner. Although he was eligible for parole, he was denied several times over the years. His next parole hearing is in 2024.
I picked up two girls who were so much like the first two, it was unbelievable. Almost identical circumstances. And I let them go. Everything went towards killing them, and I didn't. But I'm saying, wow, it's uncanny. It was almost like it was meant to be that way. And I said, wow, this got to stop. And I let them out. They never even knew what was going on. I let them out. I would have gotten away with those two being murdered. I said, no, it's got to stop. And a week later, I murdered my mother. Went back to Santa Cruz and killed her.
Well, folks, that was the end of the case file. I hope you did find the video interesting. If you've made it this far, I would genuinely appreciate it if you would give this video a like, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, as it would really help me. Until next time, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and please be safe. Peace.